Hi, I'm JB Wagner and welcome to my channel called Unconventional Wisdom. You don't have to subscribe and you don't have to like because I'm not trying to make money and I'm not making any money. I'm just doing this for fun and hopefully can share some knowledge with you that might be useful. So I'm doing this series. I've got half a dozen really good digital cameras. They're Canon, they're Olympus, and they're Lumix. And the question I raised to myself was, okay, I need to sell some of this stuff. If I only ended up with one camera, which ones could be my only camera? So this particular video is about the Panasonic Lumix G9, a camera I fell in love with when it first came out, looking at it through a window in a camera store right next to the cathedral in Cologne, Germany. And it's still a great camera. It was way ahead of its time, I think, in many respects. But the quick answer is, could this be my only camera for photo and video? And the answer is yes, it could. Yes, it could. It has excellent in-body image stabilization. Sometimes that's combined with lens stabilization. That's really important to me because I like to shoot things like flowing water, handheld, very slow exposures with everything else being sharp, just as an example. It's weather sealed. Now, the cheaper lenses tend to not be weather sealed, but if you can score the great Lumix Leica 1260 zoom, which I'm filming with right now, or I'd have it on the camera, it's on my GH6, you'll get enhanced image stabilization and weather sealing. You can also try and use like the awesome Olympus 12 to 40 Pro lens, which I have. My experience is, though, even though Micro Four Thirds lenses cross-platform between Panasonic Lumix and Olympus, they don't always work as well on the other brands' cameras. So if I had this and wanted the one go-to lens, it's the 1260 Leica lens. That lens originally lists for $999, but check it out on eBay. You might be able to get one for under $400, which is crazy. And this camera, typically, it's not new anymore, but on eBay, you're talking 500 something to 600 something for the body. It's actually holding its value because they upgraded it with software upgrades and made it a better video camera than it ever was before, for instance. So this, I can do video and photo. The video, although it's not as powerful as the GH6, it easily meets all my needs. The GH6 goes way beyond. And photography-wise, this is a 20 megapixel sensor, Micro Four Thirds. I shoot raw and I post-process with DxO Photo Lab and Topaz AI. And I don't really care about sensor size very much. I can always get rid of grain and you know, any kind of issues that way. So that's not a problem for me. That works. So what it boils down to for me would be a comparison between this and the GH6, which is definitely perceived more as a video camera, and it's an awesome video camera. But as a stills camera, it wasn't marketed that way, but it's gone so far down in price now with the GH7 out that it's worth a comparison. So a GH6 used looks like they're going for a body for a little over $1,000. So about $400, say $350, $400 more than a G9. Now, the weakness in the Lumix line until recently with the G9 II and the GH7 for Micro Four Thirds has been their autofocus, which is a contrast-based detection. And it's not really a problem for me. I don't do a lot of fast action and I don't do a lot of tracking once in a while, but that's the weakest point of this camera. Now, pro video guys, I'm a content creator, not a videographer. Pro video guys mostly use manual focus lenses. So I'm sure this is like a really popular B-roll camera for pro video because its specs are so high and its video is so good, the price is so low. But I'm going to do a quick comparison about the differences for the $400, say, between the G9 and the GH6. First, I like to use a cage for my video work especially, and it's small rig. Nobody makes a cage for this anymore that I can find and sells it new. Small rig did. I got one used on eBay. They are really, really hard to find. And this cage is a clunky cage, the way it's designed. I have the black Mamba cage for the GH6 from Small Rig, and it's way better the way it wraps around and conforms to the camera. And it's on sale right now for only $60. So that's one thing, is the cage. Secondly, right now I'm looking at the camera, the GH6, and I'm seeing a red light that shows we're actively shooting video and that it's recording. This doesn't have that on the front. And the GH6 has multiple, it has a front record button as well as a top record button, whereas this just has the top. The GH6 has the dual function mirror that flips out like this does, but also flips up, which I really like because you can have the camera down low and have it. If you have a handle on it, you can't flip out. So the versatility of the GH6 as far as the mirror function is appealing to me. The autofocus is better on the GH6. It's the best they ever made of the contrast detection, I think it's called, autofocus. It's superior to this. The GH6 also has a superior sensor, 25 megapixels versus 20, which isn't a big deal to me, but it has better dynamic range than this does. There are a few quirks about that, but I'm not going to get into it because this is a quick review. The GH6, I think, one of the weird things about this camera is the shutter. It fires with a very subtle little touch. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. You get used to it. You can live with it, but the shutter release on the GH6 is much better. The GH6 also has a full size HDMI port. Well, this does too. I didn't realize that, which is incredible. So if you're connecting an external monitor, you can use a legitimate cable instead of one of those mini ones and worry about the connector breaking the connection. So those are some of the differences. For me, it's worth it. If I had to have just one or the other, it'd be worth it for the extra $400 to buy a GH6 at the GH6 was a $2,200 MSRP camera. And you know, if you can buy a good one barely used for $1,000, it's crazy. And if you can buy it bundled with you're more likely to buy a bundle with the 12 to 60 Leica lens on the GH6 than you are on this. Just didn't ship as much with this. But either way, usually when you get the lens in a bundle, you're going to be paying less than if you buy the two items separately. So I'm still a big fan of this camera, has a place in my heart, and it definitely can be the way to go depending on your need. You don't care about a cage, you don't care about you're only going to do manual focus, so on and so forth. You can analyze those points. I've had quite a few people. I think I do have another video where it goes into more detail about is the G9 a great value today that you can watch, and quite a few people have bought them, I think, based on that video and have been really happy with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching as always.